Greetings and welcome. This is PsychicMediumRoberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. I remain humble in the presence of spirit. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events and unfortunately involving an infant. Disclaimer: all cases, names, people are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. Alright, so we got a terrible case. The unfortunate murder of Rebecca Park, and she was well on full-term pregnancy, and the baby is missing. And by all accounts, her butcher family may or may not have taken the baby. So this is a terrible, terrible case. So what I've got here is November the 4th, is when she is reported missing. So I'm just highlighting, if you're watching the visuals, November the 4th, and then unfortunately discovered on November the 25th, deceased. The two lowlifes have been arrested, and of course we know there's been a terrible incident. Rebecca unfortunately has lost her life, and of course her unseen child. So the day she's discovered, let's try backtrack. So the purpose and the intention of this episode is to see if we can pick up information around the child. So let's just start with the day that she is found. We see an 18-9 stacker 9 murder portal sequence, and the day before, so here's the family number starting the sequence, 24-6, like our good friend that went missing on the cruise many, many years ago, where they thought she was trafficked, but there's a family number, as in this case, 24-6 family, 17-8 homicide. And unfortunately, with all of these 8s around, speak about the ghastly, terrible nature what these two abominations did to her. So I'm going to backtrack and see indications of a child. And of course, we're looking for the number 13-4. So November 20, these are one of these cases where you don't want to poke your psychic nose in unless I'm given an image to see what happened to this child. So let's have a look. So here's 13-4, evidence of a child. There's also a hidden 31-4, so that can speak about the death of the mom, unfortunately. I don't know how long she was where she was before she was discovered, but we can well agree that she was found deceased, unfortunately. So November the 20th is where we find 13-4 open. And before that, we see a 20 outcome 2. So that speaks about the mother. And in this case, it will be Rebecca. Let me just grab her name here. All right, let's find the infant and let's discover what happened to the infant. Very terrible story, this. All right, so we got a deceased 31-4 here. We have confirmation, unfortunately, that it's family related, 22-4. The 22-4 can also speak about Earth. I didn't double check exactly where she was found. I believe she was found in the woods. The 22-4 hidden speaks about a family. 22-4 is also a family number. So we've got a 40 outcome 4, 31-4, 22-4, 13-4. So I will say I'm getting mixed. I must say I'm getting mixed results around the child. So let's see if we can get confirmation in this reading. So by all accounts, this 13-4 is outward, which means the kid is alive. But let's see. The next day, we have a 21-3. So the 21-3 can bring around the issues of the infant being abducted, because clearly the child didn't go willingly, and we can agree Rebecca didn't give up the child willingly due to the nature of the crime, the two low-life pigs. 14-5 These are not good numbers here. 32.5, 23.5, 41 fives. So yes, so all these fives speak about the treachery that has gone on around here. And whenever you're dealing with fives, particularly in any aspect of life, the only reason why 5 exists in one regard, not in all aspects. 14.5 can be a very positive number. But when you're dealing with crime and human beings involved, there's human interference, so that is clear. So here is evidence on November the 22nd of family numbers, right? So we've got 22.4. Now the 15.6, and we saw this in the Melody Buzzard case. The 15.6 can bring around things like adoption, okay? So there's a very strong possibility that the child was given up for adoption, sold, and we have a hidden family, 24.6. There's the family number hidden, 24.6. 42.6 is screaming, saying this is, of course, is a very immoral situation. So there's evidence of the child being given up for adoption, the infant. And then November 24, so we see the family number November 24, the family number 24.6, 17.8. I believe this may be a reflection of the crime and how ghastly it is. We have another family in cahoots. So I'm not sure who else was arrested. I've got a written piece here. So on December the 2nd, Courtney, the mom, Bradley, the mom of Rebecca, and Bradley were arrested. We've seen this in several family cases. 44.8, Gus comes to mind, and I did another kid that had autism. 44.8 is a family plan. They've come up with a plan, a design, and I believe this does have something to do with money as well. So I'm going to go back to, so there's definitely hints of the family being taken, I beg your pardon, the baby being taken and given up for adoption. And I believe, because there's a 23.5 here, it may have been done on the black market, which is almost obvious in this case. But 23.5, you're looking at very dubious circle of people, fives, criminals. So let's go here, November 18. I'm looking for signs of the kid and what happened to the kid. So, yeah, you see this November 13 reflects again the child. So I'm going to say, here's the child, 13.4. Then 15.6, which is adoption. Hidden, 24.6. But there's another element to this. What is going on here? Or was the kid given up to another group of people for some other purposes? I hate to say it, but there are terrible numbers around here, like 16.7 sacrifice, 33.6 sacrifice. So let's see here, 15.6. Jesus. I mean, who are these two Palookas? Courtney and Bradley. This kid was given up, sold, or given to another group for other purposes as well. And unfortunately, we do have these numbers here, 19-10-1, 37-10-1 on November 17, reflecting, this is actually the day after that we've seen this kid numbers in the +3, that there are trafficking numbers here. So this child was given up. So if we continue to backtrack, right? So we know November 4 is where she's reported missing, followed by 15-6, 24-6. So clearly, and here's evidence, 24-6, family, familiar. This could even be stepfather. It can even be husband, but certainly within the family. Now, if we go forward, I'm looking then to see first signs of child. So I wanted to say give birth, but based on the nature of the crime, one can argue the point of whether the child was born of natural or by horrific means. But November 11, we have evidence, first sign of a child. Then 22-4, 31-4, and the child is open 13-4. So the mom, I believe it would have happened around November 11 by the looks of it, when the child was taken, and clear evidence it's been given up to another family. So there's definitely sign that the child is alive, the infant is alive, with another family. And I keep getting that 14-5 afterwards, which means the child may not be in the same area where the child would have been born, let's say. There's definitely hints of movement afterwards. So the child may have been taken out of state or out of county, but there was definitely movement with this infant to wherever it was going, to wherever the child was going. But you see, it's followed by very horrible numbers. So I'm just wondering again, let's just see if we can see. So I'm going to say that the child was definitely alive at birth. The child was alive at birth and given to another family. And this was all planned. We have the hint here of the 19-10-1. There was definitely a transactional element around this child, unfortunately, the infant. Definitely. So I'm going to say child definitely was alive post-birth and given off to another family. My concern is what did this other family do with the child? And this is what I'm trying to see. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing good numbers afterwards. So what I'm saying is, once the kid was given to another family, I'm not seeing good numbers after that, unfortunately. And the infant may have been given to the wrong kind of family, if you know what I mean. And, at least these two palookas have been arrested. The child was definitely alive at birth and was handed over to another family. So the police, and I'm sure they are, will need to interrogate these two losers to discover and find out what happened to the child and who is the family that took the child. And this is just an horrendous case of, I just want to say, fucking losers. Jesus, how do people think? How do people live with themselves after something like this? Losers for life, may their souls rest in damnation. And may Rebecca and the child live in peace and light. Bye for now.